guys.
Good
Good
night.
night.
We
Good
should
luck,
also
Silas.
Yep. We should also have people dedicated to keeping an eye out around us in case this is all a trap.
Wouldn't that be something?
You know what? That's what Dean and Anushka are doing.
Sure.
Yeah,
Hey!
that's what we're
Like,
doing.
heads up.
What are you on about?
Fair enough.
Anyway.
Go.
Ordain in that endeavor. Help
Sure.
him, so to speak.
Both of you roll me perception with advantage. You're getting advantage from Dean and Anushka. There you go. That makes it way simpler.
Perception, said you?
Perception.
Ooh.
Thank God for the advantage.
Yeah. While they're
Yes.
rolling.
You have advantage.
Oh, that's good, because I am all the average. Yeah. I
Plus
am
10?
all.
Take a plus 11. Plus 10.
Oh
Take mine.
I mean, they could.
3. So like I'm just gonna add plus 10 to every roll here. So, you do have guidance as well, Redain. So I'll just roll a d4. 3. So that's 25 for Redain, 29 for Sajar, and 34 for Alessander. Just casually. Just casually. We'll come back to you. So, Silas, you turn around the corner and begin approaching the two people. As you do so, they both turn to look at you in a manner similar to this, I guess. These are masks on their face, so like when they talk, they don't.
Okay.
It doesn't move. To those of you trying to listen in, you would have to roll in save. If not, then Silas, you going up? Alice, oh, look at you with the good rolls.
Ooh.
You are not elucidated. Congratulations. You can listen in. You understand the conversation title. To everyone else, it sounds ethereal. It is a language you guys might be able to pinpoint, but it depends on which one of you it is. Or I guess maybe all of you. I don't know. We'll come back to it. So, Silas, you walk on up, and they both turn to look at you, and they do sort of coast wide, making this sort of again. Okay, this is a forward view, not a top-down view, right? So there is no there's no like railings for the bridges or anything. I'm just putting them there for indicators.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah. They sort of snake out and around, so one of them like is like this, and one of them's like this.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, so they're not like perfectly standing up straight, rigid.
Mm-hmm.
That would be pretty funny. I said.
Silas will just say, hello, it's me.
I was thinking of Kat saying hi and hello. Hi, Tango. You showed up at just the right time. You showed up just the right time, buddy. Just the right time. He's gonna be in my lap.
Tango's here for Silas's death.
I guess so. So, you going up.
I say, hello.
There they are, brother. Yes, brother. Which one's this one, brother? I don't know, brother. Obviously an outside. Yes, of course. They both go. What manner of creature are you, outsider?
One of music.
Ah, they both go. A musician. That explains the instruments. Yes, quite clearly. It has been some time since the Imperium has heard music. Yes, a long time. What brings you here, outsider?
Exploration. Wonder.
Ah, they both go. An expeditionary. A glory seeker,
Of
perhaps. Uncoverer. Perhaps they wish a name for the new land. Perhaps, brother, perhaps. Why here? Yes, a good question, brother. Thank you, brother. Why here?
Here locally or this whole place?
The Nightmare Imperium. Yes. One does not simply wander into the Nightmare Imperium.
No. I've been here before.
They both lean forward.
Silas will lean back a little bit.
You do have a dreamer's essence about you. A strong one at that. Yes, brother. A strong one indeed.
That would be the glow. Saz tilts their head.
The glow. The glow, the outsider says, brother. I heard the outsider just fine, brother. Yes, outsider, the glow is a resultant of that. But that is not inducive of it.
Why did you wish to talk?
Why?
Silas nods but says nothing.
Why? To learn, of course, outsider. Yes. My brother speaks true, outsider. There are many truths and secrets to be had and learned from an outside source. What is the land like now, outsider? Who rules it, outsider? How many tribes are out there, outsider? So much must have passed, outsider, and you know it.
I know some.
You know more than you let on, outsider. That fundamental information that you grew up on, that is all new to us, outsider.
I don't have long to talk.
But why not, outsider? You are in the Nightmare Imperium. Here, outsider. Here you need not worry for food or drink. Time is eternal here.
And rather, I have little patience.
They both look at each other, and then look back at you. Patience. Such impatience for someone so daring. That is a risky endeavor. Indeed, risky, brother.
That it is. Silas, behind their back, they were holding a thumbs up. Their hand is now a flat plane. It's not a thumbs down yet, but it is in fact a flat plane.
Perhaps we're inconsiderate of the outsider, brother. Perhaps so, brother. Then, on a philosopher's trust, outsider, as we had said before. The other one picks up. Surely you have questions. This is a discussion, not a monologue. My brother speaks true, outsider. We are inconsiderate and rude to be pestering you for so much. Even our discussions. What questions do you have for us?
May I gather my thoughts?
Certainly, they both say.
And Silas will use message to... I see O is muted, but they will message Redane and ask what questions do we have about... What questions should I ask them? I don't know if he's here. If not, then the question will go to...
People who are paying attention
Jar.
to Silas's scene here as opposed to your outside your immediate environment.
Oh, here we go.
Roll insight.
So anyone who didn't roll, what, perception? Or
Not
before?
necessarily. I imagine the perception also encompasses this, but it's a matter of where where's your focus lied.
Also, I see O is typing questions,
Yes.
which I will ask him.
I am rolling
Yo!
so shit on those extra dice, though.
Oh my god.
I
You
mean,
don't need it, though.
I was gonna say you don't fucking need it with a 20, potentially
Don't
39.
need it.
Speaking of 29, that's the no, not 20 you have now.
Oh.
Hey!
Alessander and Oriana. Oh, Redane though. Redane. Roll that guidance though. That might be enough to push you to the next tier.
Roll guidance and... Oh!
Okay, so your odds are all on roughly the same tier. I'm assuming you all have plus 10's attitude because Amber has 1 and Oriana and Alessander you can give it to yourselves. So.
As a treat.
The two figures here. Hi, Tango. The two figures here. They're 100% aware that Silas is casting a spell, and they know how the spell works. They know exactly, or not exactly. They know roughly where you guys are now.
Who could have foreseen this happening?
I can only do so much.
That being said, they know there are people here. Like, they've known that. They're not jumping out of the hole to come get you. This is an actual discussion that they want to have. But neither of them comment on, your guys' presence or location or anything like that. They just sort of let Silas keep going as they're going.
And I'm guessing Silas is too preoccupied, I would assume,
Correct.
to notice that. Perfect. Lovely.
Does Redane also
get
message
questions
back,
back
by
from
the way, they know.
I mean, you could do that, yeah.
Are you? Will you? Will you?
I think that's
Did
enough.
someone tell Silas this?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, really. I mean, any of you guys can do it because two of you have tacklings and Redane and message.
Here's the thing, the
That's enough
tackling
for day
is
one to
very
do.
connected to this area, so that might give them a very precise location of where we are.
Wouldn't it be crazy
I mean,
if they
you
could
were-
see the strands? God, that'd be so easy to
Anyway.
track any of you guys down because they could just look at the strands.
It
they
is shadows like, me and my brother can see your bitch asses.
They can't. So with these inside roads there, they can. Don't worry.
No, you can.
You can't.
Silas
Anyways.
will let out a soft sigh and look mildly disturbed upon hearing this information, but be like, well, what can I do now about that? And just turn back to them.
Okay, Redane would just message you.
Mhm.
Information is your currency. Spend it wisely.
Silas will message back, I am doing my best.
So, outsider,
Do better.
do you have questions now?
I do. Silas will say this out loud now. My first... Is this the Lost City?
They look at each other, then they look back at you. That is a term that I haven't heard in some time. Yes, some time. How many outsiders ago was it? 7, I believe. 7 sounds right, brother. 7 outsiders ago. The Lost City. Yes. Yes, we know this term. Indeed we do, brother. The Lost City. No. No. Outsider. This is not the Lost City. They look off in the direction of the Dreaming City. That is the Lost City.
See.
Question, outsider.
Yes.
Is that what they refer to it?
Some.
What other names does it go by? Do they still have the original? Or is it lost?
And- The Nightmare Imperium?
No, they both go.
Pleasant's ears flatten. Think. I'm afraid
So
I am
perhaps-
unaware then.
Ask him the original name.
Perhaps the knowledge is lost in the waking world, brother. Perhaps, brother, perhaps. Or perhaps. Perhaps this one simply does not know, brother. Perhaps, brother, perhaps.
Might I learn it?
And what would you give for this information, outsider?
What would you ask for it?
More questions, of course.
How many?
Knowledge is not so quantifiable, outsider. One answer might be worth more to someone else than to another. They both look at each other. What questions? I know one, brother. Then ask, brother. The one on the right looks to you. You cast magic, outsider. How common is magic out there in the waking world?
Silas thinks for a minute. They think very carefully about their answer to this one. How common was it last you heard?
The outsider answers our question with another question, brother. Indeed they do, brother. If it is a destitute of questions, then you shall never learn the name of the lost city at this rate. This is the question we give unto you, outsider, to learn the name of the lost city. Would you accrue more debt by asking another question?
No. It is common enough. I have met many others who practice magic alongside me.
Then, as a follow-up to that, in our days, everyone was able to cast magic. It was expected, natural to us, outsider. In such a society, you imagine there are many, many institutions established for spellcasting. The other one continues where his brother left off. Is it like that in your world? Is spellcasting so common that there are groups, factions, institutions established for spellcasters to develop their talents?
You need not assume yes, right? Like
Yes, there's a
Okay.
lot. It depends on which province you're in.
Yeah.
Twins,
Also-
no. Twins, you ain't find that
No.
shit.
No.
But Graffle, part of it.
Mhm.
They were going for a free question.
That was cool.
No, they answered her question.
Mhm.
Silas asked how common was it back then.
And now they're asking in return.
Correct.
Yes, there are. I'm not a part of any. But there are.
Interesting. Yes, quite interesting, brother. Good to see that tradition has not been lost. Correct, brother, correct. Then, off to the original question you asked. The name of the lost city you asked.
Yes.
It is a name that is often lost as far as we've heard from outsiders in the past. Tai Perotea. That is what it... I mean, it's back there. Just go look for it, bud. It's easy.
Sure is.
I got you. I will say to those of you listening, but didn't roll an int save to comprehend, that does go through clean. No fancy mental fuckery or anything with that. That one, you guys just understand Tai Perotea as in its phoneticization.
I know as players, you mentioned that was the word that we had seen / heard before, right? But as characters, Silas wouldn't have heard this before, right?
You would.
Would? Okay.
Yeah, so Jar has mentioned the name in one of his stories.
Okay. My need nots memory is failing me.
What other questions do you have, outsider?
I have 4 more. Does it
4?
seem reasonable? Yes.
4
Does it
seems
seem-
reasonable enough. Do you agree, brother? I suppose so, brother.
What is the purpose of this place?
They look to each other. Back to you. This place, meaning the Imperium.
Yes.
They both start laughing. Just sort of the sort of robotic laughter. Ha 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 ha. Both of them start laughing in counter unison of each other. So when one has like a lull in his ha, the other one's at the peak of his ha. Like it goes back and forth. Almost like this weird. Yeah.
I kind of love that.
Well,
That was the
Well, eventually
usual
one of
again,
them.
and they'll
Eventually they
shake their head.
finish. Eventually they finish laughing. It's like exactly like 7 seconds, like a super short burst. They look to you. Purpose of the Imperium, outsider, is to encroach and awaken.
Encroach and awaken.
Although perhaps the outsider speaks of the generality of all this. Perhaps, brother, perhaps. If that were the case, then outsider, then you would call this a prison.
Seth tilts their head quite a bit at this. A prison for whom? Or what?
For you, for us, for all of us, outsider. This is the greatest prison of all. Tell us, outsider, have you met your dreamer yet?
Silas will once again think for a moment and find no other way to answer than no. I don't know what that is.
They look at each other, and like they both tilt their head in opposite directions. And you can even hear the sort of like stretching noise, like the sort of like sinewy, this sort of like rope being pulled taut noise as they do so, as they crane their heads to like look in confusion at each other. They look back to you, and they both say in unison, "How unfortunate."
How does one go about meeting their dreamer?
They lean forward and closer to you, and now they're like, before they're like 10 feet taller than you, start looking down and speaking to you. They sort of like lay themselves out, like it's sort of like the stereotypical worm in like a cartoon where it's like it's flattened but like it curves up, like that. They get
Also back
closer
up
to you.
just a little bit more again, just to have a respectable distance.
Fair enough. If you were to meet your dreamer, outsider, you need go to the dreaming city, to the interiors of it. Yes, outsider, yes. It's either that, or your dreamer's out here. With us. But you don't look quite right if that were the case.
I see.
Perhaps, brother, their dreamer is bringing them here. And they are here. Perhaps, brother, perhaps. Tell us, outsider, what are you like?
In what sense? Personality?
It is hard to describe, outsider, but we can start with that, yes.
Hold on, I just gotta answer. Sorry, what did they say? I had to type.
They ask you, how are you in personality? That will suffice
Oh,
for
okay.
now. That it's hard to describe what they're asking, so they just start, yeah, sure, personality.
Curious. Reckless. Kind. Seth thinks of all the words that their guardian back home would have said to them.
No. No, your dreamer is not amongst the Imperium. What a shame, they both say.
Then how shall I find them?
As we said before, outsider, you need go to the Dreaming City, into the interiors of it. Past
Very
its
well.
defenses.
Silas just nods. I have more questions.
Then ask them, outsider. Yes, ask. We have been asking in return.
How does this place exist?
They look at each other and tilt their head again. Again, back in different directions. Outsider, has your world faced peril before?
With violence.
No, Outsider, you misunderstand. Peril, not in the sense of sheer danger, no. The entire world be put to threat. Has that ever happened to you, Outsider? Yes, Outsider. And do not misunderstand, we do not necessarily mean literally the whole world. No, Outsider, we mean your world. Has that ever happened to you? Yes, Outsider, where it just seems like your world is coming apart at the seams and crumbling down.
With a little bit of a shake in their voice as they think about it, they say yes.
Then imagine something like that, Outsider. That is how this place came to be. An end to a world. Our world. But also not our world. No. In a way, we're similar to you, Outsider. What other questions do you have, Outsider?
Is it the Queen that has made this place what it is?
So you know of the Queen. Interesting. Yes, very interesting, brother. That is correct, Outsider. The Astral Queen. The last Astral Queen, brother. Yes, the last one. She is the one that has brought about the world. This world. At the end of ours, so too came this one.
I have more questions than I previously numbered.
That is fine, Outsider. Let us even the board. You just asked one we have just answered. How does your world know of the Astral Queen? Or rather, how do you know?
Neednot's memory is failing her. I don't remember much about a queen.
It might just be that
he
Redain
asked
asked
how
that
we just
question.
knew about this place in general.
Yeah, that's how you
Yeah.
know about the Astral Queen.
Yeah, the queen.
Oh.
Yeah. I kind of had no idea what your question was referring to. Like, I don't know what queen you're talking about. I don't remember.
So remember we found when we first came in, she was like singing.
Is that her?
I believe so. And then I think we
Okay.
also learned more of her from Vanessa.
I don't really remember much about that specifically. Did we see her, or did we just hear her sing and hear her voice?
You guys have never
Her,
seen her?
deep more so than most of them.
Correct.
Pardon?
You guys have never seen her.
Okay. South will respond. Last time I was here, I heard her.
Last time you were here,
Yes.
were you in the Dreaming City, Outsider?
I'm not sure where I was.
The Outsider doesn't know, perhaps. That is fine, brother. Continue with your questions, Outsider.
sits at the middle of the Imperium.
Why
it
the
the
Dreaming
city?
City, of course. You can see it even now. Merely turn your head that way.
Silas will not, but they'll nod. I thought so.
A question response, outsider.
Of course.
Have you ever had times in your time where you felt lost, hopeless, helpless?
I assume everyone has. Yes.
In those times of duress, yes, struggle and strife, who do you blame?
Silas will be taken aback by this and just stare at them. Who do I blame?
Yes.
Depends on circumstance.
In generality, then, outsider.
Sometimes myself, sometimes others. It's rather
They both
even.
nod. They both say in unison, "What if we were to tell you, outsider, that it's not your fault?"
Silas tilts their head.
Nor was it the fault of them that you blame.
Then whose?
They look over to the Dreaming City. Theirs, outsider.
The city as a whole? Or those who run it? If
All of it.
someone runs it?
The Dreamers, the Queen, the city itself, all of its inhabitants, they are to blame for every bit of suffering you've ever had to deal with. Does that intrigue you, outsider?
It does.
Do you believe it unfair, outsider?
If it is true, then maybe.
If it is true, which it is, outsider, it is. The other one goes, would you like to fix it?
That is an interesting question. How does one go about fixing it?
You've been inside the Dreaming City, yes, outsider, yes, you've said so. We would love to help you fix it. We only need you to open the gate for us.
Silas will seem hesitant and say, "This is not something I can promise to do."
If you will not help us, outsider, know that it will happen inevitably. Yes, outsider, yes. So wouldn't you want to be on the winning side?
I think I would. But you misunderstand. I mean, I can't promise that I will be able to help. Not.
Do not think so little of yourself, outsider. No, not a healthy thing to do, outsider. Brother of mine. Yes, brother. Do you have faith? I do have faith in the outsider, brother. Then there you have it, outsider. We both have faith in you. You can do it, whether you realize it or not. You need only access into the place, which we know you have. Yes, you've told us such, outsider.
This seems like a decision that requires a lot of thought to go into it.
Of course, that is understandable, outsider. Think on it. Sleep on it. When you
I will.
return back to that dreaming city there, remember our offer.
I will. I have one more question before I leave. Well, 2. If that is alright.
Ask.
When I was last here, afterwards, sometime afterwards, there were visions. How were visions sent across our waking world?
Describe the visions, outsider. Yes, outsider, that is very vague. There are different types of visions you might see, uncover. Describe your vision.